going on? I am the Broken Puppet and I'm back with another daily tutorial for you guys. Remember, if you like my videos, don't forget to click subscribe and click the little bell button to get notified whenever I pop a new video. Now this one is a really fun one. This is how to draw the Mandalorian. He's one of my all-time favorite characters now. I love this guy. So if you want to learn how to draw this is the way. Enjoy. Alright people, time to draw the Mandalorian. This guy's just so cool. I love this character. So I'm going to start off with a big oval, so similar to the Baby Yoda one, we're going to create a nice sort of circular frame to sit him in. And then we're going to start off with a circle. It's going to be the top part of his helmet. I'm going to build off from this circle to kind of make the rest of his helmet. So from here, you're going to bring a curved line down, a little short line to make that sort of chin space, and a curved line coming back and curving up to make that box shape for the bottom part of the helmet. Now you want to get your angle right, so we're going to start off with a circle on the side, a bit similar to the Loomis technique, not quite the same though, and a curved line coming down to that point we've done by the chin. Another line through the centre of that, and two curved lines just coming through the middle part, roughly like so. You know, it's just building up the kind of basic sort of shape of it. So you're going to bring in these two curved lines coming down to those centre two lines, and that line come down, that's going to create this like visor shape, and you're going to do a line straight down the middle of that circle we've done on the side. From that, you're going to create these two curve points to create a little loop just on his cheek. You know, because you get that really cool little dip inside the helmet and a little line come down from that. A few more details now, so we're going to have the strip coming down from the top of the head and a little box shape just on the side part of the back of the helmet, with the two lines coming down. Now we're going to position the rest of his body. So we're going to do a little line where his base of his neck would be, and the two lines at the side are his shoulders, and the cross lines sort of telling his body position and his shoulder position. So now where we want the shoulders, you want it quite wide, we're going to have these two shoulder pads on either side. So you've got a curved line there going behind the circle, and a little point curve there to create one on his right shoulder. From those points, I'm bringing two lines back to sort of tell where his arm is going to sit up, because you don't have too much neck on show really. As well, because he wears this kind of scarf bit that goes around the top here, which I've done. So draw this curved line, curving round. It's a bit more to one side on that side, because in this image, his scarf kind of fits over his shoulder. The curved line down here for his little gun belt that goes across his chest. I'm going to bring in the armor plate, so it's kind of like a box shape here, and do two curved lines, a little bit to the left of the center line we've done for his spine. And I'm going to bring up this sort of shape here, this big sort of like curved line coming down. It's just like his gun on the back of it, like the stock of his gun. So now we have this, we kind of have the basic build up of his body, so we can start bringing in a little more detail bits. So on the center part of his chest, he has this kind of cut off diamond shape in his armor, so we're going to get that placed in there. On his gun belt, he has this little strap that comes down, so this rectangular shape, and then a little box shape on it, just where the clip is. And now I'm going to turn the transparency down. I'm going to rub it out just a little bit so it's a bit faint, and start blocking in areas. You know, I'm not too focused on detail this minute. I'm looking just to get the colours right, you know, the sort of shades. So when I dark sort of, you know, grey across that cheek shape we've done, a bit of dark grey there, just coming around the back of the helmet on that sort of shape. His visor, I'm just going to black him for the minute. You know, we're going to leave some white highlights in there. And as you're doing this paper, you might be conscious of that and just see where the white highlights are towards the end. Now, the main part of his helmet, I'm going to start very light, leaving little spaces where the pure highlights are. So a very faint grey I'm going to bring across those kind of parts. So heading back a little bit, a little highlight just down the eye part, and a bit of grey towards the back. Similar here, on the lower part of the cheek, I've got grey coming in from that corner, and just right on the very corner bit there, you've got like a quite strong highlight. So I'm leaving that space pure white. Now the other side of the face, again, I'm just using this, you know, pure grey across the whole bit. Now, when you look at an image, you know, just look at whatever is the lightest shade you see for the whole thing. And you can shade those sections in, that lightest shade, and just keep working darker off of that. Now, the upper helmet, you kind of got this sort of shape. It sort of curves around because you have this highlight at the top. And you have these streaks that come across. So, a little shade following those two curved lines we've done upwards. And these streaks across to create this light shine on top of his helmet. And now we're going to start going gradually sort of darker. So, I'm going to bring this line across just to define these lines. So, across there and across the top of the helmet, we're going to have these defined lines. A bit more on the upper part of his cheek, just to define, you know, get a bit more dark shade in there. And a little bit of grey, just dark grey on that side box part at the back of the helmet, just to kind of give a bit of definition. Now that top sort of section, just going across the top of his visor, we have a dark bit across there, and a few little sections. So I'm breaking it up, you know, just building it up bit by bit, and we'll keep redefining it as we go. You know, that's the trick to getting like a kind of realistic kind of feel. You know, don't sort of worry about going perfect from the beginning. Build up your shapes, build up your textures, and kind of work off that. So you can see I'm just bungling in all these kind of little darker areas, just slowly building up. You know, the center part of the forehead, just a bit above that helmet, fading off around the corner. You know, leaving these little gaps in between, just where you get these kind of cool little highlights. So there on the left side of the cheek, you got that sort of dark grey with a little streak just coming through the centre of it. I've got a bit dark grey now on the lower part of the right hand cheek, just coming up the centre with little highlights on either side. You know, because it's metallic looking, you know. Metallic, you get uneven lighting, so you get little light bits here and there sometimes that you wouldn't normally get. So just keep building it up, redefining it, like a little strip of dark just on the side bit. You know, the box shape here, you know, bring a bit more structure into it now. So you have this little dark curve that comes around, some more dark bit on the bottom bit, and you have this little black sort of space in the middle where it sort of dips inwards. So just like slightly adjusting the visor part here, so a bit more sort of dark in that sort of place. You know, bringing a few little sort of defined bits in the cheek, you know, a little bit more above the head. So you just keep layering it and layering it and layering it. You know, so start with a light grey and just keep going slightly darker and darker, building on the bits and that, and just keep correcting yourself. Don't worry about making little mistakes. You can always correct yourself. And once you get to this stage, you can start thinking about texture. You know, because once you have form, you can start worrying about texture. And with a metallic, you kind of want to sort of streak a bit. We kind of feel like, you know, almost a bit kind of distorted, where it sort of goes backwards and forwards. So using sort of like a brush motion, a bit of an uneven kind of curve, you know, you can really define your highlights. Bring sort of little curvy parts, you know, like your little circular motions with your pencil, just to create a little texture in it, like I have in the top part of the helmet there. You know, little patches here and there. You know, if you're worried about sort of making little mistakes, you know, if you're on paper, don't worry about it, you know, feel free to make mistakes. You know, if you're not on the iPads, you know, do it on a separate layer, and you can just quickly whip it out, you know, if you don't like it. But yeah, just keep building it up section by section. Like, yeah, I've got a dark streak going under the helmet now, which is really helping me to sort of work out the tones I want above that. You know, if you have pure dark areas, you know, like underneath, it's really helpful sometimes. So it really helps you adjust your lighting. So in these visors now, you can see I've got these highlights coming through. So a little strip just on the side, a little bit next to it, and a little bit just on the lower part of the mouth part. Just a very hint of it. You know, and these are very sort of important for making a lipstick, because you don't want to be pure black, you know, because it's got that metallic, you know, like light shine to it. And if it doesn't have that, it's just not going to quite feel right. So just keep defining it. Just keep bringing little detail parts, you know, like redefining, putting more highlights in there. You know, like across the cheek bit there and across the bottom part, you know, add a little bit more in there. So now we've got the helmet sort of, you know, practically sort of like, you know, on its way. I'm putting a bit of dark shade just across this scarf part now, because most of it is fairly dark. And you can see here, I put these little strips, you know, because it's coming from that back, you know, curving around the front. So I bring the little sections, just going from the back, going thin, going wide as it comes across, breaking up bit by bit. And again here, I just put a bit more of a darker tone over the top, because it is mostly quite dark. You know, and it creates a really good contrast against the helmet, you know, because you've got that dark base against it, so it really shows it off a little bit more. You've got a little grey bit at the top of the helmet as well, just to define it, where you have the highlight across the top. You know, because if you don't have that, it goes pure white to pure white, and you kind of lose it. Now on his chest plate, you see here, I'm just putting this like bold, sort of like medium kind of grey. You know, because that's like the darkest part you have on there. So I bring a little light just across the side bit, because you have that sort of really strong shadow that comes directly across there. So they've got really that really defined line coming across that part. So I'm going to build it up block by block, similar to how we've done the face now. So that gun belt, I'm putting in like pure sort of grey across there. It's a slightly darker variant from what the chest is. You know, putting some darker greys just underneath those shoulder pads. You know, and a few little lines, because he has these sort of clothes bits under there, like the fabric, and it kind of gets a bit folded and twisted, so you want a few little lines here and there. You know, don't be one pure tone. You know, it's those little details that are really going to make it special. You know, a little bit of grey just behind the edge of the scarf in the background, just to kind of show it off. And now on that edge part we've done on his chest, I put some darker shades around it, and a bit uneven, like it's sort of scratched, you know, quite bumpy, you know, so you've got the texture in there. Now using the darks, you know, tones, I've created second layers, so you've got like, you know, second layers of the plating on his chest. And I've been a bit streaky down the centre bit, I brought it up a little bit, so it's a bit uneven, so it kind of makes it feel rusty, you know, this is like his first armour, it's not like the polished second one. Across that line we've done across the chest, I've just defined it with a bit darker shade, so I'm just block it in bit by piece. You know, just defining it more and more as we go along. You know, like I said, you know, to begin with, don't worry about detail to begin with. Bring that along as you go further along. On his scarf bit, I put a bit of a sort of bit more detail, a bit of texture, using a circular motion with like the airbrush sort of tool. And on his gun belt now, I'm just using a darker shade just to kind of like define the shape. So you have that strip down there, the little clip. You know, I've got the darker patches there, just kind of make it feel a bit kind of leverish. So I'm just building out a little patch. You know, little streaky bits, you know, to kind of build that texture up. Again, I'm just adjusting there, like get that fabric underneath the arm. So bring that dark across the side, down the back bit. And he's got this little fold bit just on the shoulder underneath the gun. So I'll put dark underneath there and a bit of grey across the top. The gun stock, I put pure grey across it to begin with. And again, just building it up, blocking it in and defining it. You know, just block it in first to kind of get the texture you want. Don't worry about the detail to begin with. So now I'm adding some highlights, you know, because that little clip on the front bit is quite dominant with the white. And you've got the little fold clip with a little white bit across the top of there, and just on the side of that strip, and the stripe on the other bit. So for the background here, just a real simple, I've got like a gradient just coming in from the outside, just fading very gently. You know, this is basically to sort of show off the highlight across his shoulder, across the top bit, and across the back. Now his gun stock at the back, he's got like a bit of a wood texture to it, so I've just got this darker streaks just coming through to kind of give that wood grain. And then use my razor, I've just come on the outside, I've just cleaned around the edge now, so it's got like a nice clean edge around it. And just redefine that shoulder a little bit, so you've got a bit more detailing in there. You know, I said just bit by piece, just keep going in there, just bringing your little highlights and just adjusting, you know, little bits. You know, just kind of look at it, squint with your eyes and sort of think, oh, does this look right? You know, because when you squint, all you're going to see is like the basic sort of, you know, colours. And you're going to see whether your highlights are right or if your darks are right. You know, if it doesn't look right when it's squinted, that means it's not quite right. So just keep slightly adjusting it, dark in areas, bolding up. You know, don't be afraid to go dark. You know, dark is going to really help you get that sort of realistic feel to it. You know, but again, don't be worried about your lights and darks. You want a full range of pure black to pure white. You know, you don't want to get stuck in that kind of mid-grey tone. You know, the mid-grey tone is not going to give you a realistic feel. But yeah, there you go, people. That's it. That's how you draw the Mandalorian. You know, like I said, he's such an awesome character. You know, I really enjoyed doing this one. You know, you got him, you got Baby Yoda as well. So check the Baby Yoda one. You know, and if you enjoy this, let me know. And if there's any other characters you want me to draw and teach you how to do, just let me know. You know, I'm always up for doing this. So yeah, I'm a Broken Puppet, and I will see you next time, people. Peace.